God is calling us to face-to-face contact with people who need Jesus. God is calling us to so much more than just being another church in the Middletown, Odessa, Townsend community. God is calling us to so much more than just coming here and gathering and being satisfied with that. God is calling us to get up and to go out, the way that he called Jonah to get up and to go out. God's calling us, you see, Jonah could not have reached Nineveh by staying in Israel. You get it? They didn't have the internet back then. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have all that stuff. They didn't have airplanes. They didn't have cars. Jonah had to get up and walk and caravan for hundreds and hundreds of miles to reach Nineveh, to reach his enemies. And he had to go there face to face into the community, and he had to preach 8 words: repent or you're going to die in 40 days. That's the gist of it. All right? God was calling Jonah out of his comfort zone. And he was calling him to a war zone. God is calling us to meet people face to face. He's calling us to meet people where they're at. He's calling us to get involved with people's lives. We can't just sit in the church and say, come in, doors are open, come on in. We need to go out. We need to be the seekers. You understand that? We need to be the ones who are seeking those who need to hear about Jesus. And we need to find out what it is that we desire more than that. And we need to get rid of it. That's what God was doing here with Jonah. And Jonah, like those kids in the grocery store, went limp. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. I'm going to leave. I don't want to do that. We need to answer when God calls. And God is calling us. Charles Spurgeon says this. He said, I read this quote this past week. It says, a Christian is either a missionary or an imposter. I don't know about you, but that hits me pretty hard. If that's true, that's an incredible statement. And by the way, it is true. All Christians are to be fishers of people, of men and of women. And we are called to go and make disciples of all nations. So that's one thing God has called us to. You are either an imposter or you are a missionary.